I heartily thank Dr. B. Kedarnath sir, HOD, Electronics and Communication Engineering, and all the faculty members who are the pillars of the department in organizing such a wonderful webinars for student communities, for betterment of student communities all the way, in inspiring such young and great minds. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every student friend who is joining in their busy schedule. In fact, so we are all, we're all sitting idle at home. We are thinking about what to do next time. But the students, but thinking about student fraternities, they always engage in studies. They always work very hard the whole day. And in fact, they develop, PPTs in the night and they present in the early mornings, the very next day, probably. So I extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every student for accepting, to come to this meeting this evening because under your hectic schedule. And my great wishes and thanks to every one of you for organizing this wonderful. So it's such a pleasant evening, such an energetic evening where I couldn't even find energy so far. I was having my cash nuts this evening, but still, when I saw a set of young and vibrant participants, I felt very proud and happy. In fact, you don't believe that. So the happiness couldn't be expressed in words. It cannot be expressed at any point of time. So whenever I meet students, I used to get energy. I used to get passion. I used to get lots of ideas, lots of thought process, lots of positivity. You don't believe that. In fact, I gave a small interview with a channel a couple of 20 minutes back. So I was telling the same thing to them actually. So it was a popular channel in Tamil. So I was giving a 20 minutes of interview throughout what I had my journey. So they were asking one question: who is your inspiration? I told them, students are my inspiration. Students are my role models. They keep me working very hard. They keep me inspired. So that's why I'm traveling this far. I just told them. So they were also very happy. In fact, that was literally a new answer for them probably. So that's what I believe. Okay, let's come on to the session. And so far, the COVID has taught us great lessons. So far, the COVID has gave us new learnings, gave us new opportunities, gave us lots of failures. In fact, so we should always treat failures as our best friend. So that's what I believe. In fact, so failing is always an art. There is nothing wrong in failing things. So once you have to do something, you have to start doing something. That's part of success. That's what I believe in. So it's not something like you shouldn't keep on thinking like what am I going to do next or what the career will bring to me or what people will support me or what kind of funding will I get or what kind of product ideas will I get. It's not like that. It's all about how we initiate. It's all about when we start doing something. That is the time when we start succeeding in life. Actually, that's what I believe. So I'm 24-year-old. I'm also a student like you. I'm not much elder or I'm not much younger actually. So that's that's I have to accept that initially. So I'm 24-year-old. I'm running a couple of startups right now. I'm running a couple of NGOs as well. So as already many faculties are present here. So our HOD sir is also present here. He has achieved a lot in his life, but probably he's again letting all know about the career, letting all know about the life, about the journeys. So that's the most important part of everyone's success. That's what I believe. So I started my journey in the age of 18 probably. So the time when I started, I didn't have money, I didn't have any ideas. Probably I had huge failures. So that was huge stepping stone for my success. So I had no idea what am I going to do, or I had no office space to sit and work. So only thing I had was satisfaction. Only thing I had was that made me to grow this far. So life is all about taking up new things, thinking in a different way, creating something what others can't do, and pushing yourself beyond limits each and every day. So it's all about creating something is something like it's not something like doing something what others are actually doing. So it's about going in a different way. It's about crossing through different paths in life and meeting lots of energetic people where you can find lots of opportunities. In fact, opportunities never ever seeks your door, never ever knocks your door. You have to go through the opportunities. You have to create an opportunity. You have such a better opportunity to create lot more opportunities. And where we are standing is something, it's a question mark here, right? So this is the right time for you people to decide your career. This is the right time for you people to decide what you want to be in another 5 years time. So you shouldn't waste time. How not to waste time? It's again a biggest question mark amongst people. It's about keeping ourselves committed with some points, keeping ourselves committed with some works, keeping ourselves committed with some ideas, keeping ourselves committed with some problems. Even, in fact, problem identification is again a bigger task, you know. So the problems which we faced, the problems which we identified, generate some vitamin M today. Vitamin C is most important to overcome COVID. Vitamin M is most important to overcome everything. So right, to overcome problems, we started generating vitamin M. Vitamin M is so-called money. M is so-called money. So we coined the name so-called vitamin M. So it's also an energy for our life. It's also an energy for career. So that alone doesn't mean like that's what I believe. So in my early 18s, I started an NGO called No Food Waste, which operating in Hyderabad, it's operating in Tadepalligudam. We operate in Visakhapatnam today. So we started in the year of 2014 probably. So then when I started, people started criticizing me. People started laughing at me. People started, they started telling it's not possible by you to do this. And so and so. I was something like every dream is possible. I always believe that every dream is possible. So then when I started, I went on to two government schools in Coimbatore. So I reside in Coimbatore basically. So I went on to two government schools to train children on STEM education. When I was 18, I went on to a government school to train children on STEM education. It was something like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So when I went on to a school, kids, I used to have my midday meal with the kids. I used to have my lunch with the kids. When I used to have my lunch, many of the kids used to waste their food actually. So each and every day, they were around hundreds of kgs being wasted in each and every school. Probably our city has more than 100 schools across the city. So what happened? Somewhere around 6,000 kgs of foods were being wasted. At some point, we decided we have to create a platform for this. We have to solve this problem. We have to solve this major problem. What about the elderly? What about the marriage halls? What about the parties? What about the functions? What about marriage functions, etc.? So we thought of solving a biggest problem ever, the so-called the food wastage. And we started with two shopper bags, launching an initiative, launching a number. It again started from zero. Today we operate in over 12 cities across India. We have crossed more than 60 lakh hungry stomachs so far. So we even operate with TNPL, we even operate with IPLs, etc. So that was my initial, start of my life. My huge dream in my life was something like, I shouldn't attend any interviews. That was my huge dream, in fact. So I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong, but still, that's my passion. That was my initiative. That was my passion. So at some point of time in life, going through the social ventures or going through social alone doesn't decide our life. So it's all about we also have to sustain. We also have to learn something from society. We also have to create something. We also have an opportunity to create employment opportunities for people. We also have an opportunity to solve a problem which industries haven't so far. So through the learnings what we had as an engineer, probably I got into varied domains. I initially got into varied domains. I started training kids on IoT and AI for third and fourth grade children. So that was a huge challenge which I faced in my early stages of my startup. So when I was doing my startup, I had no money, I had no space to sit and work. But still I had huge hope that this can bring a change in this world. So that's what I believed initially. So through the knowledge, through the learnings what I had in early stages of my life, I started imparting it to the young school children of different schools across the city. So that's how my startup journey started. So there was a problem in between. For third and fourth grade children, there is no so-called experimental education or hands-on learning methodologies at that particular age. So that's what I thought of solving it. So what I did was like I went on to schools. I started pitching my idea that I'll be teaching your children on IoT and AI. The school administrations laughed at me. The teachers laughed at me. Even parents laughed at me. How are you going to train my students, my children on IoT and AI? It's literally a funny thing. Are you playing with us? So how much you are going to charge? I just told them like I'm going to charge even 1 rupee per day. I'll charge 65 rupees a year. What other companies charge? Other companies usually charges around 4,000 rupees a year for one student. I just charge 1 rupee a student a day. So literally people started accepting. What I did was I made third grade and fourth grade students to develop products on IoT. we started developing products. We again started implementing the same product in their school premises. So that made a huge changes. Like, so people started accepting us. People started accepting our company. People started accepting me. People started accepting my ideas. That's how I started solving the problem. At some point of time, what happened? So we went on to different schools, and today we operate in more than 131 schools across India. So it's all the creamy layer school we operate. So from third and fourth grade will come up with IoT. Fifth grade will come up with AI. Sixth and seventh grade will come up with VR and AR both for 6 and 6 months. And for the eighth and ninth grade, we have come up with a different curriculum called as so-called computation intelligence, which is the most, the growing phase of today's technology. So again, that is how the journey started. Right, at some point, I went on to a hotel. So this is again a biggest problem which I faced initially. So when I went on to a hotel. So when I was sitting at the hotel, I was sitting at the restaurant actually. So when I was sitting at the restaurant, it took around 20 minutes of my time as well as their time, as well as other customers' time to take orders. So I thought of solving a major problem which usually all the restaurants face. So what I did was like I thought of solving this major problem. So we made it, we created an automation based product, so called the POS billing solutions, which again reduces the manpower, which again reduces the time consumption for the customers, which again reduces the time and efforts for the hoteliers or might be the restaurant owners. So we created a solution, and that is how we solved the problem in restaurants and hotels across the different chain of hotels and restaurants. So my product is all about we handle inventory, we handle billing solutions, we handle the fund management, we handle we completely eradicate the time wastage happening for hoteliers as well as for the customers. I mean, we reduced it to 20 minutes for each and every dine. So now what we are trying to do is like we are trying to completely change the table, into a touch table actually, where customers can themselves come and play on the table. They can again once the food is arrived, they can order through the table in front of them. And once the food is arrived, they can play games, they can go through the mails, they can go through the messages, whatever they get. And at some point, while they receive food, they can have it. I mean, whatever they wish to have, they can have. And at some point, they can themselves generate a bill. They can pay them directly through the QR codes present in the billing desk, or might be the desk which is present in front of them. And probably at the end, they can even book the cabs, whichever is present, Ola or the Uber. So we have also integrated that actually. So that's again a huge innovation what you are trying to do. So the table is going to be touch. The dining table is going to be touch very soon. So that's again a huge innovation. The one table, the table of each and every restaurant at least has 10 to 15 tables probably. A mid-level restaurant has around 10 to 15 tables. What I did was like one restaurant can adopt to one table at a moment, and they can have a try. So I gave them, I made them convinced, and I started pitching this idea. In fact, this is a bit costly, but this will be an interesting model very soon. So we'll be launching it across around 1,000 outlets very soon. So all the chain of restaurants very soon. So this is again the biggest initiative, biggest step what we are actually going to take. But I'm not very sure whether it works out or not. But I have to make it right. That's a huge possibility. What I'm able to do, right? And so the venture goes on. So I initially started a platform called Consumer Agreement Platform. It is a B2C supply chain platform where we connect farmers and consumers actually. So during this lockdown, it again started from zero. Today we have close to 500 farmers connected with this. It's a B2C supply chain platform. You can again go through the platform on LinkedIn or Instagram, or might be the website what we have in open source. I'm the co-founder for the initiative. So I started it, and today we have connected lots and lots of farmers. In fact, what I'm going to do is like I have developed a smart chatbot, an AI-based chatbot, where it can directly interact with the farmer communities. It will be South India's first AI-based chatbot. It will be a virtual assistant which can directly interact with the farmers, and farmers can also directly interact with them. And probably whatever the produce they make, they can sell it to us, and we'll directly go and procure it from the farms itself. So they don't need to call us. They don't need to book in the mobile application. They don't need to even ping us. They don't need to travel to the markets, whatever it is. So we directly go there. We directly can procure all the veggies from their place itself. So that has become a huge possibility today. So we have developed products for farmers. We have developed AI-based chatbots for farmers, and we have employed unemployed women and transgenders for this. So that's again a huge task what we have done so far. And right now, I'm just traveling on the flow. I'm not so successful like what others are. And, I'm literally inspired by all your ideas. Okay. So this is my journey so far. I'm 24-year-old right now. It's been 5 years of journey. I've employed more than 130 people so far. And it's literally an interesting journey. I'm facing lots of troubles. I'm facing lots of problems, in fact, but still, I'm able to solve those problems. That's what I believe on this. So, right? So, coming to the topic, exposure and field visit problem identification. It's again a very interesting topic, what are faculties and what are head has chosen. So, problem identification is the biggest, understanding in today's world. So, understanding a problem or analyzing a problem or even thinking about a problem is again a biggest problem in today's society. What I believe is like many people don't go beyond problems. They always seek problems cannot be solved, problems never can be solved, so they always think like that. It's not like that. You don't believe in that. That's so much. You always believe that every problem can be solved. Only thing is you have to choose your domain first. It's about you have to choose your domain first. It's all about you can go into supply chain, you can go into technology, you can go into a different areas of career growth, or might be different areas of thinking. So it's all about you have to be focused at something. That's the most important factor for enabling success. So the problem identification is something like there are literally lots of things to follow, in identifying a problem. In fact, so what we actually do, how we actually tackle or how we actually identify a problem is something like we start from writing a solution for a problem initially. So while going on a road, probably, so if we are walking on a road, we can take this problem as a problem statement. I can give you an example, like like how products are being developed, like how problems are being identified, like how problems are being solved. So if I'm going on a road, for example, and probably the whole night the street lights are being are being enabled. So what happens the whole day? So the electricity consumption is very high comparatively. So it's the first problem. Second thing, there is no use of street lights the whole night probably. So at least when there is no human intervention, or there is no human passage, street lights at least has to be disabled for some time. So that has to be happened automatically, but that is not at all happening today. So what you can do is you can try solving it through technology, so-called IoT, or you might involve PAR sensor, you might involve IR sensors for solving these problems. You can involve an Arduino, a basic Arduino kit, right? A basic Arduino, a basic PR sensor, where if any human interventions are there, if any human passages are there, you can automatically turn on the lights. If someone is not there, if someone is not present at that particular place, what you can do? You can immediately turn off the lights. Actually, that's possible. You can start building this product. You can start implementing this product at your own premises, and you can start pitching this idea with the corporation or might be the government people. So if people are convinced with the idea, your company starts, your startup begins, your journey begins. That's how a product is being started. That's how a problem is being identified. It's not something like you can go surf in the internet and you can try identifying a problem you can solve through the ideations what you have. It's not like that. It's all through the practical mentality what we are crossing, what we are going through, what we have crossed so far, what the problem we have identified. It's not something like you can go and surf in the internet and you can't even identify a practical problem which cannot be solved. You have to go through a problem. If the problem has to be solved, you are the one, you have to take a step to solve it. Actually, it might be through technology, it might be through fieldwork, it might be through different domain, it might be through a different network of people, it might be through a team of people, whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, you have to go through the problem, you have to solve a problem whatever you have faced. That is how a startup begins, right? So for example, there are hundreds of entrepreneurs today, there are thousands of entrepreneurs across India who have built lots of products, who have built lots of chain of hotels, who have built lots of even saloons. We people go to saloons today. And I wanted to tell one person who has invented, who has created a big impact in society. has made an impact in society. So he's Mr. C.K. Kumaravel. He's in Chennai, India. And what he had did was like, he's a successful entrepreneur today. And in recent, it was around 2005 or 2006 probably. So he and his wife, where the thought of creating a startup probably. They had no idea of what they are going to do, but still they have to organize few things probably. So they thought of getting into saloon based platform. They thought of getting into saloon based platform, so called the natural saloon. We all go to natural salon today. We all go to natural salon today. So the saloon was created by them, naturals, saloon, so called the naturals. They operate in around 650 outlets they have across India today. So initially there are around, the people who operate saloons, they started operating in below the trees. They again started operating in a small kind of shops. And today they operate with over 2 or 3 employees today. So that's how people operate from 1950s and 1960s. And how innovative these couples have done. What is the innovation? What is the creativity these couples have done? What is the problem that they have solved is again the biggest factor. How they made this successful. The same salon business, the same people who come for cutting their hairs, and the same people who come for come beyond technology, come beyond come beyond experiences, experiencing the product, come beyond experiencing their brand, come beyond experiencing their values, come beyond experiencing their customer satisfaction, everything. So that is how they made a difference. So what they created was something like they created one single salon. They started approaching 2 or 3 customers initially, and they started convincing all those customers. They solved the problem what customers have faced so far. And at some point of time, what they realized was there was a huge task in terms of growth, in terms of building a better, huge task in terms of building the startup better. So initially they went on to 2 or 3 people. They told that we are giving franchisee to you. Are you really ready to accept? So they were like, why should I accept your franchisee? They were like, so you see, I have solved a major problem. In fact, so I have created a brand. I have created a value for customers. I have created a wonderful initiative, so called the Natural Salon. So that has created a big impact in society. They have employed more than 1,000 people today. That has created more than 1,800 crores of money today. So the huge impact has been created. They in fact started in the year of 2005. Even in fact, many people have started in the year of 1950s and 1960s. They still sit at the same place. They still operate with over 100 and 150 customers. That's it, a month. But what these couples have innovated, what these couples have done was they tried solving a problem. They solved a major problem. That is how the saloons have come up this far. There are hundreds of startup stories. There are hundreds of problems have been solved so far. How the problems are being solved? How innovative the solutions are? How innovative the problem? The statements they have defined is again the huge task or how they are successful today, right? So I always believe that you shouldn't lie upon the same problem. It's all about you should be a critical thinker. In fact, so critical thinker in the sense like when a problem is not yet being solved, when a problem is very simple, you have to think it in a very different way. You have to think it in a very critical way. You have to think it very creative manner. So that is how you can be a critical thinker. It's not just like following the same path what others follow. It's about creating a known path. It's about creating a known path and critically thinking about one single problem and focusing on one single problem, right? And critical thinking is a process. It is a process of it takes some time. It again takes some time. It again takes people to judge your product. Takes people to take. It takes lots of time for you people to understand about your product. Even analyze the factors of relating a problem with suitable solution, or might be a relatable conclusion of building a better product. Might be critical thinkers always should solve a problem. It's not something like you always shouldn't be a thinker. You always should be a doer, right? So there is a difference between a thinker and a doer. Are we a doer? Are we a thinker? So there is a difference between both. We should always be a doer. We shouldn't even be a thinker all the time. And we should give importance to the business. We should be a critical thinker, and it's not just it doesn't alone lies completely on money. It always lies on passion. It always lies on positivity. It always lies on positive mindset, right? And talking about the creative thinking, I could always also call it as lateral thinking probably. So creative thinking is there are hundreds and hundred type of entrepreneurs who always set their limits, set their goals. You always doesn't feel like go on the right path. Who always fail a lot, who always learn a lot, who always be successful. There are different kinds of entrepreneurs. There are different kinds of problem solvers. There are different kinds of innovators. There are different kinds of creative enthusiasts. And where we stand is again the biggest question mark today. So it's all about you have to think in a different dimensional angle. You have to think in a different solutions. What for one particular problem, you have to be on the other hand believing in thinking differently about solving a problem. So it's not something like there are several questions make come up with solving a problem, or might be you have to be like a puzzle. You have to allocate different kind of puzzles to solve a major problem what others haven't been solved or what others haven't solved so far. The problem solving skills and the analysis of the problem solving, the critical thinking is again the most important factor of building a better product. So again, taking up an initiative is the most important factor for success. So it's not something like you always have to be a thinker, you always have to be a doer, right? You always have to believe that person. So thinkers keep on thinking something, whether if they fail, what they'll be able to do, or they'll feel like I don't have money. How am I going to build this business, or how am I going to build this product, or how am I going to design this product? We always no need to think about anything. We have to do something immediately. We have to start building a product. We have to start solving a problem what others haven't solved so far. So you have to be proactive. You have to go through the customer knowledge, customer benefits. You have to go through the customer perspective, where what actually the customer needs, what actually the end user needs today. It's not about just you can earn money and you can exit out of this problem and you can go through the next step. It's all about it should be on a longer run. It should be satisfying at least thousands and thousands of customers each and every day. That is how the initiative will push on to the next level. And the product or service or the initiative, whatever the people takes today, it should be very passionate. It should be determined to succeed, and the qualities the investor should love to see the product. They should love to see your problem statement what you have defined. So any good problem solver should know to research, should know to think about a problem, should know to solve a problem immediately. Shouldn't keep on thinking about the same problem for the whole day. That is how you can be successful. So the next comes the persistence. So the persistence of each and every human being speaks here. Persistence is something like it's a key trait of most of successful people. So it's a key trait. Key trait is something like how far we solve a problem, how different we solve a problem, how many different ways we think of solving a problem. In most of the cases, the problems will be more complex. What is the solution that we have defined for solving a complex problem is again a biggest question mark, right? So many people will misunderstand, like the persistent does not require necessarily mean doing something over and over again and again. It's not something like that. We have to keep on doing over and over something on something again and again. That so then we can get lots of experiences in solving a problem, in even identifying a problem. That's the most important success for constant evaluation of building a better product, right? So then comes the flexibility, or we can call it as adaptability. So whatever it called. So it's all the founder's call. The founder has to decide what the problem has to be solved, what actually the problem is, and what domain are we actually going to work. Are we really experienced in that particular domain? Are we really interested in that particular domain? Are we going to work in that particular domain, or something like that? So at some point there will be backfire happening. There will be single solution. You don't have an opportunity to yield better fruits. So that all happens actually. It's not something like immediately it will be successful. At some point, it always depends on how far you travel. It all depends on what is the problem you choose, what is the solution you define for a problem statement, right? So it might yield a better revenue every day. It might not yield a better revenue. It depends on situation. It depends on the product what we develop, right? And coming to the solutions, what we have to do, what we have to think. It's all about problem solving skills. There are 5 problem solving skills. This is how a problem can be solved. right? So first you have to be a critical thinker. You have to literally think in a very critical way. You have to be creative. You have to be a lateral thinker. You have to take an initiative before others do. You have to take an initiative. There is no other go for a founder's call. You have to be persistent. You shouldn't resist at any point of time in your life to even think about it is a bigger problem, it is a complex problem, or this problem cannot be solved. You should be flexible, you should be adaptable, and you should be a self-reluctant, you should be a self-confident person to solve a biggest problem ever what others haven't solved so far, right? And yeah, so coming to the best product, and you know, it's about building an agile solution. It's about, I always believe that agile solutions are the most uh, essential way of building a better product. So there are lots of steps, there are lots of milestones, there are lots of traditional way of approach in building a better product, in identifying a problem, in fact. So agile product development is something like, on other hand, it increases, most probably it increases in demand, it increases the customer happiness, it increases the way of the products have been developed, or might be most of the organizations might approach in a different milestone, in a different way, so-called the hybrid approach, or might be the domestic approach. It depends on situation, it depends on the organization. So only thing you have to believe is it should be an agile solution. It should not be a waterfall solution. It's a waterfall solution is something like, the problems keep on flowing, we keep on going with the flow. There is no other go, right? So agile solution is something like, it should be very much perfect in terms of solving the problem. The problem should be, should be based on your domain. It shouldn't be on a different domain. It shouldn't be on a different perspective. It should be on your domain. It should be very agile. It shouldn't be on a waterfall based solution what you're going to define. And product development process, I would like to talk about product development processes initially. So you're being a student today. So you might be an innovator tomorrow, you might be an employee tomorrow, you might be creating startups tomorrow. So these are the steps which you have to follow. I'll let you know the steps which you have to follow. There are 6 different steps which each and every innovator, each and every traditional product development expert follows. Right? That's what an industry expert also follows. That's what an entrepreneur follows. That's what a new innovator follows. That's what a student innovator follows. So these are the steps what we follow during building our startup. So first point, we have to discover a problem, right? So discovering a problem is something like, you have to go through the problems, you have to go through varied problem statements, you have to go through, on a field research. It is not something like, creating something immediately, and it is not something like making vitamin. It's all about starting from scratch. So career is all about starting from scratch. I'm not talking about the employment career, I'm talking about the startup career, I'm talking about the product development career, right? So starting from the idea generation, I also call it as idea generation. So we have to get ideas from the customers and end users, right? So we can seek lots of people, we can meet lots of people, we can learn from those people, we can start generating lots of ideas from people. And second point, I always believe that marketing research, in fact, before building a product, we have to go for a marketing research. We have to meet lots of people, we have to meet lots of end users who are going to use our product, right? So we can get lots of inputs from them. So before getting into marketing research, we used to do one thing. So we make an analysis called SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So this is what we do initially before we get into marketing research. And we think about competitors all the time. We always think about competitors as our best friends, right? So we always talk with the competitors, we always interact with the competitors to know what they're actually doing, what the products they have built so far. And we have to think about the other market strategies, other markets, other startup consultants, other startup founders, other companies, other well-grown companies, other well-known companies, what they have done so far with this particular problem. Either they have solved the problem, or they are still they are still resembling on the same thing. So we have to think, we have to ideate, we have to go through different perspectives of solving or even generating an idea, a better idea probably. So then next comes the screening process. We think about SWOT always. So we always go through SWOT analysis in all the steps, whatever we do. So second comes the screening process. So we start about thinking about the strength and weaknesses of each and every individual, each and every startup idea, each and every problem statement what we have defined, and we will think about if it really fits with the objectives what we have defined so far. If it doesn't fit with the objectives, and we have to change the models, we have to change the problem statement, we have to create some other solutions for the problem statements what we have defined. So always we have to think about the market, the trends in the market present today. It's not something like I always, I should always go beyond the traditional limits. I always should build some products which yield some a small kind of revenue for building a startup. It's not something like that. You should always be on a trend actually. People always says one point, tells one point. Sir, is the product trending today? Are the products really interesting? Are the products really essential for the customers today? Is this product feasible? Is this product self-sustainable? So these are the questions where customers or the end users or the people whoever sees your product or asks about your product thinks actually. And again, they reply back to you again about these points. So, and we should always think about, it's not just about building a product and selling it better. It's all about thinking about the return on investments. Whatever we invest, it should get on to our packets at another 6 or 7 months of time. Once we start building a product, we shouldn't expect for money. Once we start selling the products, we should expect for huge money. Whatever we invested, it should be 100x of the total money involved so far. And third comes the idea evaluation. Evaluating the idea is the most important factor for the huge success. So the concept testing of the concepts is the most important factor. So second point might be we should build a small prototype which again sees the yield or which again sees the outcome, a basic outcome of your product what you have developed. And probably reaction from the customers is again the most important factor. You should take this product to your customer, you should take this product to your end user whom you have defined, and you should let them know what you have done so far, and you will get lots of reactions. One customer will be like, sir, this product is wonderful. One customer will be like, this product doesn't even fit my needs. One customer will be like, this product is the cost of this product is very high. I don't need this product. One customer will be like, I don't need the entire product, but still I need a branding for my place, that I also have this product. Paytm has their products across India. Even a small vendor has a Paytm product. So that's again so-called the value or the brand what we actually want to build. So each and every customer, each and every customer will be in a different way. They'll be reacting in a different way. We have to take all the reactions. We have to take in a positive manner, and we have to make a rough estimate of cost, sales, profits. So these are three eligible steps of building a better product and better startup. So first, you have to start from idea generation. Second, you have to go through the screening process. And third, you have to evaluate your idea. Fourth point, you have to come up with a development probably. It's not something like dragging the same idea for the next 10 years. You have to come up with a different products. You have to come up with a multi-domain dimensional approach for the customers who wants it, who needs it, who needs it in a different cost, who needs it in a different way, who needs it in a different technology, who needs in a different adaptability. It depends on the customer. It depends on the customer, right? You have to believe that. So first, you have to check with the R&D. Research and development for each and every product is essential for huge success of a product, right? So you have to develop, you have to design a model, you have to design a prototype, which again, injects your mind, which again makes you think about what you're actually going to do for the next 1 or 2 years down the line. And it's about test marketing. So test marketing, I always tell that before developing a product, we should go on for marketing. Before developing a product, we should go and reach the customers. We should tell the customers that the product is getting developed, and we'll be reaching with the product in another 2 or 3 months of time. That's part of secret of success for each and every entrepreneur, right? And revising of plans again. If plan A doesn't work, you have to go for plan B. If plan B also doesn't work, you have to merge plan A and plan B. You have to implement plan C. If plan C doesn't work, you have to literally inculcate A, B, and C, and you have to go for plan D. So that is how a problem can be solved. It's not something like if you are going for plan A, if the problem is not solved, you shouldn't wait for the opportunity. You should again create a plan B, where you again get some yield, where you again get some learnings, you again get some experiences in terms of building a better and an awesome product, right? So finally comes the commercialization. So initially you start from idea generations, you get into screening, you get into idea evaluation, you get into development on research and development, developing or designing a prototype, or maybe testing the marketing abilities of the product, or might be the reach for the customers, and might be you have to revise the plans and you have to come up with a return on investments estimations. And finally the commercialization of the product happens. The finalize the product and the marketing plan. It's about one pager business report what each and every product should have. Like what you have a SWOT analysis, right? You always build a SWOT analysis report every day. So for every product you always build a SWOT analysis report. For each and every product, the product has to be commercialized at some point. So either it can be a failure, there is nothing wrong with that, but you should make a try in commercializing the product. That's how it can be successful at some point. And the product production rollout should happen each and every day. The productions shouldn't stop at any point of time due to internal reasons. And that is how a product can be built and bring into the market, right? And yeah, so these are all some simple steps of building some better product. And starting from discovery or the product idea implementation, we get into product definition. We have to bring in people to build this build a better solution for the problem statement. And business case development is again a biggest thing to be focused. And you have to go through varied R&D and research kind of things to develop a better product, what other companies haven't done so far, what other companies haven't solved the problem so far. And you have to go through the validation and testing point of view, and you have to launch it, right? So this is how a better problem, this is how a better solution can be given for building a better community. So hope you all understood the session so far. So hope you all know how a problem is being identified, how a solution is being defined for a problem, how to build a product, how to design a product before everything, whatever we do in industry. Yes. So hope you all could have understood what the outline of product development. So it takes another 20 days to explain about the whole product development. In fact, so each and every student here has some good product ideas, has some good knowledge, sound knowledge about developing a product, has some good prototypes. Even you could have developed lots and lots of projects during this pandemic or pre-pandemic or post-pandemic. You could have done so far. So only thing is you should think in a very detailed manner. That is how a prototype can be converted into a final product, and it can be commercialized at some point. You have huge will, you have huge hope. You should only work for that. That's it. So these are all the steps you have to follow before building a better and the best product. That's it. Yes.
So any doubts from the
participants? Any questions to ask any participants, you can let me know. The session is open for you. You can unmute yourself. You can ask any set of questions you have in your mind. No need to hesitate that the speaker, what if speaker asks a question? Speaker even doesn't know any answers. You have to believe.
So your questions need not to be linked to this one, because sir has got vast experience. Okay, so just so whenever we listen to him, so it do not look like that we are listening a lecture. Just we are going through his life story. So everything looks like natural, because he explains about the complete his personal experience, because it is not so the journey what he has gone through. So just he is explaining about that. So that is going to give the real what you call motivation to the students. So what exactly they are going to face, what problems that likely they are going to. So one thing is very clear. So there are many more limitations are there. But if you become an employer, of course, there are many hurdles you have to face, but the sky is the limit. So that is, if you want to grow big, okay, think big, okay, at the same time, so you need not to think about the space, how the rocket is going or something like that. Just even many times I am going to discuss with your faculty members that don't think the biggest problems of the nation or something. small problems, what in day-to-day life, even that what you are facing. So even if you find a problem, a small, maybe it is a small problem, but you think critically, think differently, as Dr. Shyam Prasad said, think critically, think differently, and give a unique solution which is not given by anybody else. So definitely, then your product or your approach is going to be appreciated by the entire society. So that is how your IQ and your way of thought process is going to develop things. Okay. So that is a very nice and wonderful session, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Any
Any
questions are
questions from?
told in a very brief manner. Thank you so much, sir, for elaborating the session. And any questions are most welcome, because I'm also a student like you. You don't need to hesitate that what if our faculties think, or what if others laugh at us. There is nothing wrong with that, right? You have to come up with you have to come up with lots of questions. You also have lots of questions. I know completely that students have lots of questions, but they hesitate to ask questions. That's the problem.
Yes. So that's the reason. Definitely, I'll ask them. So even if this is a wrong question, don't worry. Ask.
Exactly.
It's make habit of asking. It's nothing but make habit of coming forward. Generally, it is missing in our, especially in India. That is what
True. Very true. Very true.
the statistical dysfunction also. So that's why I always encourage people to ask the questions. So if it is right, wrong, so that is the next step. But please ask the questions. So whatever there in your mind, just come forward and ask. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Please.
What are the basic requirements for a startup?
Basic requirements for startup. First of all, the problem identification is the most important factor. Second is the domain specification. So we have to be very clear and focused in terms of what we are actually going to do for the next 10 or 20 years down the line. And the perspective of choosing a problem is something like, while we are crossing something, while we are going through a problem, we have to tend solving the major problem. So those are first fundamental requirements for even creating a startup. And second might be, you have to be very passionate, you have to be very much interested, you have to be very keen, you have to be very focused. And not only vitamin M is mandatory to build a startup. It's again most important, but still that alone doesn't mean that we'll be successful. Many startups fail at some point because they invest a lot. They think, they have to, they always be on a very comfortable path where they can't even learn anything from startups. They can't even, they can't even work hard while they invest a lot. You have to start from scratch. You have to work hard. You have to know completely about marketing stuffs. You have to know about HR. You have to know about operations. You have to know about admin. You have to know about even the security, what the security does to it. So it starts from a sheet of paper until the checkbook. So everything should be, you should be a self learner. That's what I'm trying to tell. These are few important things for building a startup. Actually, for creating a startup, first of all, we should be passionate. That's it. We shouldn't be a thinker. We should always be a doer. 99% of the people will always be a thinker. They'll be like, what if I fail? What if I'm not able to build a startup? What if I'm not able to build some revenue? All the time, everything will be audit at some point. Only thing is, we have to start doing something immediately. So start with what you have, do what you like, and do what you know. That's it. So these are important factors, right? Yes.
Any more questions?
Sir, can I ask one question, sir?
Yes, madam, please.
Sir, do you suggest any methods or any some points how to convince the customer? Like,
convincing the customers is again the biggest tool of.
Sorry to interrupt you, because many people will fail only in that particular area where how to convince the end user.
Correct.
As you said.
So convincing a customer is something like not cannot be learnt in a book. Actually, it's again through experiences only we can convince a customer. Initially, I'll explain how I convinced my first customer. How I convinced my first customer. So I went on to a hotel. I went on to a small hotel in Coimbatore where I reside. So the hotel name is Annapurna, right? They have around 17 outlets in Coimbatore alone. They are very famous for sambar. You know the sambar, the stuff so-called sambar. It's ready for dinner, I hope so, in most of the houses. Okay. So let's not talk about sambar. Let's talk about the restaurant and the customer. The restaurant, moreover, runs for the past 45 years actually. So their grandparents started this restaurant in the year of 1960s and 1970s. So the major problem what they are facing is, first problem is the billing solutions. Second problem is the time consumption for each and every customer. And third problem is the inventory management is again the biggest challenge. So these were three simple things what they have faced so far. And what I did was, like I went on to the particular restaurant. I wanted to meet the chairman of the particular restaurant actually. So and there are four different kinds of chairmen. So they're all brothers and sisters. So one person is completely into technology. One person is building a startup. One person is the same person is completely engaged into kind of an expert in technology. And second person, the second brother, the second elder brother, who doesn't even know about technology, but he's completely involved in business, building a business better. Third brother, who is completely involved into both technology and business, knowing businesses and technology better. And fourth brother was completely involved in operations and field management. So there were four different kind of a chairman, pro-chairman, vice-chairman, co-chairman. There are four different kinds of chairman. How far it would be tough to convince these four kind of people. So I had no opportunity to meet them. In fact, I went on to the restaurant. I wanted to meet the chairman. The security itself, rejected my proposal. I told him that, sir, I wanted to meet the chairman today. So he was like, whether you have an appointment with him? No, I don't have an appointment. But still, I wanted to meet him to talk about a different thing. So he didn't let me in actually. So what I did was, like, he asked me a question. Sir, whether you have a business card with you? I don't have a business card, sir. In fact, I started my company day before yesterday. I wanted to solve a problem. I wanted to talk with the customers, the end users today. So I don't have a business card, but I have huge hope that the customers will accept today. So, and I'll come up with a different product by tomorrow. I'll come up with a business card maybe day after tomorrow with an appointment. So at some point, please can you give me some time to explain the product, at least with the security person. So I can at least convince my security person. So at least at some point, he can at least talk to the manager at some point. So that is how I got into a restaurant. He asked for a business card. What I did was, I took a sheet of paper. I drew my logo, company's logo. I started writing my name. I started writing my position of mine, and I gave to them. And he was literally shocked. Sir, are you kidding? Are you playing with me? You are giving me a sheet of paper and showing it that it is your business card. What if my MD sees this? If he doesn't even accept this, I don't like I have an appointment. You can get. So okay. So I went into the reception. The reception people were like, please can you take your seat for another half an hour? MD is in the meeting. Okay. I was like, okay, I'll wait for something. Sir, MD is calling people who are waiting at the reception area. Please can you give your business card? I told, like, I don't have business card, madam. But still I have huge hope that your MD will be satisfied with the product. Please give me a couple of minutes time. I'll go stand there. I'll present my product. If the MD is convinced, I'll sit there for another half an hour. I'll again try to convince this product. Please at least give me some time. I begged a lot for another 20 minutes. So reception people were like, give me a business card. I again gave the same sheet of paper which I gave to the secretary. They were again literally shocked. They were again literally shocked. What this guy has come up with the product. I doesn't have even a single product at that time when I was pitching with the customers. So then I got an opportunity to meet a couple of MDs, the elder brother and the younger brother. So when I went and sat there, he was something like, he asked a question, where are you coming from? I was like, sir, I started the company a couple of days back. I was very excited in meeting. That was the first time when I met him. So I was very excited. I told him that, sir, I started a company a couple of days back. I wanted to do something for the hotels and restaurants. See, if you can give me an opportunity, I can serve it better. So please can you give me a couple of minutes to explain the product. So he was like, okay, please go ahead. So I took his couple of minutes and I started explaining about the product within a couple of minutes. I tried convincing him better because of the the funding what I wanted to have from them. Actually. So what I asked was the commercials of the product is very low comparative to other products, and the problem can be solved very easily within 29 or 30K for one single product. Ahead of using 30 or 40 different products from different hotels and from different companies, I'm ready to give one single product for the whole problem what you are going to define. So this is the simple product, sir. Please can you give me another 5 minutes to explain the whole product? So again I accepted to convince. So what I did was within another 1 hour of the MD's time, I convinced both of them. I again had a huge challenge to convince other two. So they were literally into business. They don't know anything about technology. They don't want to invest any single rupee for technology means for another couple of years. I again convinced them, saying like I can solve a major problem what the restaurant has. I again can solve a problem what the customers face today. I again can solve a problem what technology haven't done so far. So these are 3 major points I started focusing. They were very much convinced, and the first product I sold within 1.5 hours of time, and I got somewhere around 29.5K for building my first product. In fact, so I used that money to build a prototype. You don't believe? I used that money to build a prototype. I didn't even invest even a single rupee to build a prototype to showcase it. The only thing I had was an idea. I had was a solution for solving a bigger problem what the restaurants has today. And third point, I was very much frank to them. I was not something like I started a company 5 years back. I have somewhere around 500 employees. I was not like I was not something like I wanted to solve a major problem what other companies have. I was not something like a fool saying I can do anything for your entity or something else. I was very much frank. Sir, this is the possibility. This can be done from my end. This can be the support which I expect from your end. These were the 3 simple steps I projected, and they were convinced, and they gave me up the deal. So that is how my first product started selling. Even when I don't have a business card, even I don't have a browser at that time. Actually.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, madam, so you please continue the rest of the session.
Okay, sir. Sir, good evening, sir. Dr. Shyam Prasad Rajshekharan, sir, we are very much thankful for this session what we are having in this evening, and you have really inspired us by your message or words, and whatever the examples you have taken and whatever the lines you have quoted, they are very much really inspiring the students as well as ourselves, like faculty members and all. So yeah, I think one word I would like to say here is you have stressed one point, like creating something is in different way, and we should be the thinkers and doers, and we should have passion and mindset. These words you have used, which are really impact, which shows the impact on our students' mindset, and at the same time you have taken a very nice problem identification examples, really wonderful examples, sir. And whatever the procedures and whatever the problems solving skills you have mentioned, they are really approachable. How we can identify and how we can proceed with that, and how we can develop a product. All these processes also very useful, sir, for our students or those who want to start up their career. Like already you are the best example that you have started your career at the age of 18, and you have really very nice really inspiring what do you call that I'm really wonderful, sir, because you have many achievements in your life, and we are thankful for your session, and we have really we want to continue like these sessions in future also. And uh, once again, from Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, from our management side and from our HOD sir side and from the faculty and student side, thank you very much, sir, for this session. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, madam. It was such a wonderful session with all your students. And it's my humble and honor to have been addressing the session with the wonderful students and the wonderful faculties of Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. I would also extend my heartfelt thanks to the head of the department, Dr. Kedarnath sir, for organizing this wonderful webinar, for inviting me for this webinar. Being a young child, talking a webinar is something like, I feel very happy. Every dream is possible. I always believe that every dream is possible. All my dear students, all keep on growing great heights, all keep on driving through the different paths, all keep on crossing different major struggles, whatever you want to do in your life. And there is nothing wrong in facing failures. Failing always is an art. You have to fail, you have to learn from the failures, you have to grow beyond and beyond every day. My best wishes to every one of the participants over this present. So I wish you to be the competitor of mine. I also wish that I also will be a competitor very soon. So thank you so much for this wonderful webinar, and thank you so much, sir, and thank you so much.
Sir. Thank you. In fact, I'm looking forward for the practical sessions as well. The ones the pandemic will complete. Okay, so there is plan for something different. Thank you. Thank you for your.
Yes, sir. Yes, for sure. We'll again catch up very soon. I have posted my social media links on the chat box actually. So I'll be posting the funding, funding opportunities for startups. The webinars, whatever I am going to talk in the future, will also be published on different platforms on Instagram and LinkedIn. So you can use both the platforms in a very perfect way, very fruitful way. You can spend time on LinkedIn. That is a wonderful platform, in fact, for all my dear students. Please go through, and we can again catch up on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please take care. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Sir, madam, please note that the details what sir has posted chat box. So you can share with the students later so that they can follow. Thank you very much. So thank you everyone, those who have joined. Thanks a lot. Hope this session is useful. So let us, okay, all the best for your next exams. Thank you.